Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is May 28, 2024, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the British pound extend its gains to the upside. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So at 4 p.m. South African time, out of the United States, we have a big consumer confidence number coming out. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbol, after a slide from the Australian dollar, it gets a bounce and shifting over to the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ unchanged. And that's really as an effect of national holiday in the United States yesterday, Memorial Day, in observance. Now looking at the commodities, oil bouncing off of that supportish level, that lower range, and gold remaining unchanged. Now shifting over to the stocks, the U.S. markets were closed yesterday, as mentioned, in observance of Memorial Day. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin setting up a new range, and it looks like it's testing the lower part. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So I'm going to start out here with the Euro USD. It's not my focal point, but I just want to make a point at the beginning of this video, so hopefully you'll get this. It's been in a very tight range, over 300 pips between this year. Just this year alone, it's only been in a 300 pip range. That is a very tight range to be trading the market. So you've got to be very selective. That's the point of me making out this time to just look at this. I mean, you could see it. It's between 109-ish level and 106-ish level, the high part of it. Okay, so you could see it just there. This is a monthly chart of it. So take stock. Now, looking at the GBP USD, if we look at a monthly chart, it's also been in a range, but not as a tight range. It's been in a 2,500-ish pip range. So with that said, you're looking for volatility in the market. So shifting over to the British pound, this extension is really very important. Now I'm going to shift into a weekly. You can see that we are gaining nicely and we're closing in at that 200-day moving average. That's super important. So keep that in mind. We're only about 150 pips away from it. Now looking at a daily chart, this is really where it gets very important because you see that we do have resistance-ish area at this 127.77-ish level. So it's really super important that we break above it in order to extend those gains. Now jumping into the Australian dollar, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we call a V formation. And we spoke about this yesterday or last week on Facebook, and this is exactly what happens. It's a V. It becomes like this. It's a sharp sell-off and then a just as equal bounce right back. Okay, and that's exactly what happened with the Australian dollar here. So if you were able to catch it, good for you. We are consolidating in the upper range of it, so it still has to show us that it's strong in order for us to pop above it, and that seems to be the current climate for the US dollar. Now jumping into commodities, crude oil jumping off of that low of $76 to $78, but it's trading within the range and it's just below its resistance-ish level. So keep that in mind as well. And as we shift off to gold, nothing doing, all right? I thought we'd get a bounce, but we haven't gotten it yet. So look for potential either breakouts on the downside or the upside. It may be just a market action play, which means it's not necessarily going to give it to us in the technical sense, but more on the action play side if we see things starting to accumulate. Now jumping into the US markets, they were closed yesterday. The Dow Jones, as you can see, were pretty much unchanged for the day, and the NASDAQ on its highs. So nothing really doing there. I covered the stocks yesterday in a video, had a big gap up. Let's see if that continues to go up higher. Now, there's a saying in the US markets, when you are in May, you sell and you go away, something to that effect, okay? Which means that generally in June, July, August, the markets are lighter trading because most of the fund managers are on vacation in the Hamptons or in Cancun or wherever else they go, okay? So just keep that in mind as the markets are consolidating with that as well. Now, jumping into cryptocurrencies, let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's setting up a new range, okay? The upper range at 72, 71,000 on the resistance side, and on the support side, 67,000. We're just shy of it. So I'm looking to see if it's going to bounce off of these levels to see if it's going to continue honoring this new range that it's trading in. Okay, it's not, and if it does break out of it, either on the upside or the downside, we're going to get an extreme move, but you do want to know where its new range is. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.